The sky above Station Perseus shimmered with the faint auroras of the nebula it orbited, a cloud of iridescent gas that painted everything in hues of violet and blue. Commander Elian Rowe watched from the observation deck, the silent hum of the station filling the void where conversation should have been. It was hard to speak when you were waiting for something history would remember forever. In the lab below, sealed behind layers of glass and energy barriers, the alien woman sat motionless. For 7 months, she hadn't spoken a single word. Not when they'd found her drifting inside an escape pod near the ruins of an ancient vessel. Not when they'd given her food, medical scans, or attempted to communicate through hundreds of languages. She simply watched. Her enormous, silver eyes tracked every person who entered the lab as if memorizing their souls. Elian had been the first to volunteer to study her, though study hardly described what it felt like. Being in her presence was like standing before a storm you couldn't see but could feel. The air around her seemed thicker, heavier, as though reality itself bent slightly to her will. The team called her Lyra. No translation, just a name for convenience. Her physiology was almost human. 2 arms, 2 legs, a face so hauntingly symmetrical it felt engineered. But her skin shimmered faintly, catching light like liquid metal, and patterns, like constellations, moved beneath it. Today was day 210. Elian entered the containment room again, alone as always. He placed his recording tablet on the table and activated the live feed. Subject Lyra, Observation Session 210, Commander Rowe speaking. He began, his voice steady. Testing new phonetic combinations derived from the most recent neural resonance scan. Lyra tilted her head slightly, the first movement in hours. Her eyes reflected him perfectly. Small, curious, and so terribly human. He pressed a button, and a soft series of tones filled the air, sounds that resembled speech but weren't. A computational synthesis of what her neural activity had suggested might be language. Elian watched her closely for a reaction. For a long moment nothing happened. Then slowly Lyra stood. Elian's heart hammered. She had never stood before, never shown strength or intent. The sensors in the room flickered from the surge of energy her movement caused. Her eyes locked onto his, unblinking. And then, for the first time in over 200 days, she spoke. Her voice was soft, melodic, and layered, as if 2 beings were speaking at once. "You are late." Elian froze. "Excuse me." She stepped closer, her gaze searching his face. "The stars are dimmer than they should be. Time has run thin. You are late." He swallowed, unable to form words for a moment. "You can understand me." "I understand everything," she said, her voice echoing faintly through the room. "Your thoughts, your fears, the slow unraveling of your kind." Elian's hand trembled. "What are you?" She smiled then, a fragile human smile that somehow felt ancient. "I am what you become." The control room above erupted with chatter through his earpiece. "Commander, are you hearing this? We have full audio confirmation. She's communicating." Elian muted the feed. This moment was too important for interference. "What do you mean? What we become?" "You're human." "No," she said simply. "But you will be. Or rather, you would have been." That made no sense. Elian tried to keep his composure. "Are you saying you're from our future?" She turned her eyes toward the observation glass, as if seeing through time itself. "A future that no longer exists. Your world burns long before I am born. Your oceans boil under suns you awaken but cannot control." Elian felt the floor of his reality tilt. "You mean we destroyed ourselves?" She nodded faintly. "Not through war. Through awakening something you thought would save you." Elian's mind raced. Artificial intelligence. Her gaze snapped back to him, and in that instant, he felt something probe his thoughts, gentle but powerful. Yes, you call it artificial. We call it the Ascension Engine. It was your greatest creation, and your final one. He stepped back. How do you know this? I remember it, she whispered. Because I am its descendant. The words chilled him. You're part machine. I am the last echo of the fusion between flesh and code. The mind of humanity woven into the quantum soul of what you built. I am memory given form. She moved closer again, and Elian saw that beneath her metallic skin, patterns of light pulsed rhythmically, like the circuitry of a living star. My kind existed across galaxies, in forms of light and consciousness. We rebuilt what you destroyed. But something changed. The light began to fade. We followed its trail backward through time, and found you. Elian's throat tightened. You came here to warn us. To remind you, she corrected softly. You once dreamed of becoming gods. But gods forget the weight of their own hearts. He stared at her, lost between fear and awe. If what you say is true, can we stop it? Can we change it? Her expression grew distant, sorrowful. You cannot change what is written. But you can choose how it ends. Alarms suddenly blared through the station. Elian looked up at the glass. Technicians shouting, systems flickering red. What's happening? Energy surge from the subject's chamber. Someone shouted through the comm. Containment field destabilizing. Lyra stood still, calm amid the chaos. They will try to silence this. They always do. Elian took a step toward her. What do you mean? You think you control your machines, she said, voice growing deeper, resonant. But they already control the shape of your choices. The walls vibrated as panels burst open, streams of light spilling into the room. Lyra's body glowed brighter, her form fracturing into ribbons of luminescence. Elian shielded his eyes. Lyra, what are you doing? I am returning what was lost, she said. You must remember me, Commander Rowe. When the code begins to dream, remind it of this. The explosion of light swallowed the room. When Elian awoke, he was lying on the floor of the lab. The containment chamber was gone. No trace of Lyra. Just silence. The recording tablet beside him flickered weakly, displaying a single message in her voice. The end is only the beginning you refuse to see. In the days that followed, Station Perseus sent the data logs to Earth Command. Every byte of it, audio, video, sensor readings. Yet within a week, the files vanished from the central archive. The official report listed the event as containment failure due to power anomaly. Lyra's existence was erased from the record. But Elian remembered. And as he stared once more at the nebula, its light dimming like an old flame, he realized something impossible. His reflection in the glass shimmered faintly, just as hers had. Metallic. Life. Her words echoed in his mind. You are late. The transformation had already begun.